Just packing up to check out of the lovely Holiday Inn downtown Winnipeg. It's been an awesome 3 days, and wanted to put one last thought in there before I lost it, because those that know me know that I tend to reflect on things that have happened almost up to a week ago, and try to analyze and whatever. So there was a situation yesterday where I had a couple people in my workshop that had actually had some exposure professionally to some of the tools that we talked about, the Lean Six Sigma tools. And in the end, we were just chatting about, how they had used this tool differently, and that the way that I was explaining it made it so much simpler, and it was like, like the light bulb went off, or on, I guess, and they finally got it. And as we were talking about it, and as I'm thinking about it, it occurred to me, and I mentioned to the person I was chatting to, there really is no, in projects, especially in projects, there is no right or wrong way per se to use a tool or a technique or whatever. But if you're not getting anything out of, if you're not getting the value out of that tool, then there's no point to it. It's wasteful. Because if you're not taking that information from that tool to drive decisions and to drive action, then it's a waste. And so, my advice to you folks and to everybody is, if you're taking any sort of activity or tool, or you're doing something in a project, first you should always be asking, why am I doing this? What's the value that I'm going to get from doing this thing? And how is this going to move me towards my end goal? Because if you can't answer those questions in a concrete way that makes sense, and actually doesn't just justify activity for activity's sake, then you're wasting time and you're not adding value. So there's no, just to summarize, there's no right or wrong way to do a thing. There's a million different ways that you can do something, but do it the way that works for you, and do it the way that makes sense for your customer, for your audience, and that's going to give them value, but also allow you to move forward, because everything should revolve around action towards an end goal. So, going to finish packing up. I am checking out in about 5 minutes. I may or may not check in back today. It's a travel day, so really excited to be heading back home on this. I guess it's Thursday morning. Should be home. Haven't seen the family in a few days, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I really have enjoyed Winnipeg, so I'll be back anytime you guys want me. Friday afternoon, back into the grind. Didn't have a lot of chance to show a lot of content. Back to the 9 to 5 today. A lot of good meetings, a lot of good discussions, a lot of stuff I couldn't show just because of the nature of the work that I do. Did want to talk about one thing, and unfortunately left this device that I've been carrying around with me this week through Winnipeg, through Toronto. So missed the conversation. It was really, in the words of my colleague that I was having the conversation with, lightning in a bottle. When I went back to him and said I want to have that conversation again so I can get it on video. But had a really great conversation with good friend of mine, colleague Mike Martino, who's the digital consigliere, and I've been trying to encourage him and a couple other people, but really him in particular, on getting into speaking at conferences and doing some of the stuff that I do. And it's not because I'm super awesome. It's not because I think, I do it, so everyone should do it. It's just, I think he's got a very natural talent for it, and would actually be really, really good at it. And so, have been just chipping away at him for the last few years. And I think I finally got through, when he saw some of the stuff that I've been doing this week, and I think we have the breakthrough on Mike Martino. So really, really great conversation where we talked about topics and speaking to your expertise, and that was the thing that I struggled with early on in doing this. Is I tried to fit the audience
and that meant deviating from myself, and that put me in a really awkward position, because I was talking about something that I either didn't have a level of expertise in, or didn't have maybe the level of expertise that certain people were expecting. And it was about a year ago where that flipped, and I decided I was going to talk about things that I was very knowledgeable in, so Lean Six Sigma, process improvement, innovation, that sort of stuff. Decided that was going to be my niche in the speaking space, with the conference organizers that I pretty much run with almost exclusively at this point, because it is a part-time thing for me. So that switch allowed me to be a little bit more free in the content that I created, be a little bit more free in knowing that, I would put together my hour talk, and because I knew the content so well, I could just go up there and talk. I wasn't worried about, the sequencing, and I wasn't worried about memorizing a script, and I wasn't worried about any of that crap. I just knew that I could get up and start talking, and so that's where the conversation with Mike went. He is one of the leading experts, in my experience, in the digital space and in the customer intelligence space, and is really looking to build his brand and become more known in that space. And so speaking is one great way of doing it. It's not the only way, but it's a way that I've done it, and I encouraged him to do it. And it was funny, at the end of the conversation, I said to him that I'm actually more excited for him going through this than me going to another event. Is like I want to bring everybody along with me, because I want everyone in my circle to be happy and to be successful. And it feels very freeing to say it, because it's not pandering. I'm not just saying stuff to say it. I actually believe it, and it's really, really cool. So I want everyone in my crew to be happy. I said at my workshop on Wednesday, and I don't know if I already included this, that once you train with me, you're with me for life. So you can reach out with a question maybe not 30 years from now, because I think I'll be retired, I hope. But if you got a question next year and you did this one-day workshop from me, you may need to remind me who you are, but that's as simple as I did a workshop with you in Winnipeg or DC or Atlanta or Toronto or Vancouver, wherever we met, and cool. Then I will answer. Like I want to give away knowledge and information, because it's free anyway. Like you can waste a lot of time on Google figuring out what I know, or you can just ask for help. So anyways, that was the conversation. He was asking for help, looking at some content, and I already know a lot of the stuff that he does, and I'm like, dude, just do it. You don't need to run anything by me. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who figured out something, and is trying to figure out the next thing. So that's it. That was the day. Got a little bit of work done, because I was planning to not be in the office today, and then did end up going to the office, just because doesn't make sense to be away from Monday to Thursday and then go in on Friday. But I did, and caught up on a few reports that I had to write, and a little bit of work that I had to do. So nothing too glamorous, and I don't have the Gary V dollar, so I don't have someone following me around. I'm shooting this. This is on the dash in my car, just getting ready to head home for the weekend. Got a lot of work to do this weekend on the 5 to 9 stuff, so should be good. And I'm looking at doing these on a more frequent basis. So I think maybe every day is a little bit overkill, but maybe one video a week, if that's cool. So that's the week, folks. Winnipeg and Toronto. Next week is all work. The week after is all work, and in a few weeks head off to Des Moines, Iowa for the first time, so that'll be cool. Have a good weekend, everyone.